What up, tribe? It's your girl Raji, and I'm tapping in today with a planetary daily and hourly guide. We are going to focus in on the Saturn Saturday guide that I enjoy using and would suggest, in addition to some others that you may, want to tap into as well for your spiritual journey. But today we are going to talk about ancestors. So on Saturdays, I like to work with the ancestors to gain wisdom and patience and guidance about what I need to release, let go of, and really heal from the previous 7 days. Now, keep in mind that you can work with your guides during certain hours of the day as well. So, if you want to reach out to your ancestors during the Saturn hour of the day, in addition to the Saturn day of the week, which is Saturday, then that's all good too. You feel me? Now, let me just get to it because the ancestors, the interesting vibe of that is a lot of people misinterpret the use of how you can work with said ancestors because they immediately assume your closest blood ancestors or someone that has recently passed over. So just for context, King Solomon, who definitely worked with planetary days and hours for conjure and root work, used Saturn and Saturn days and hours to summon the soul of Hades, which is the underworld. But he would only summon those who died natural deaths. So when you think of Saturn, like discipline, longevity, hard work, etc., like you're not summoning the same spirits of Hades that you would summon on a Tuesday. You're going to summon the ones who are very balanced and righteous and died in a different type of way or passed over in a different type of way other than through battle, because on a Mars day or a Mars hour, you would summon the soul of Hades too, but you would summon the soul of Hades slain in battle. So because that would be about war and strategy and courage and etc. So just to kind of throw that out there, because again, we pick up a lot of our working with certain planetary hours and days from the work of King Solomon, who I am almost convinced, I still want to do a little bit more research, but I'm almost convinced King Solomon got most of his shit from Biliquis, Queen of Sheba. He picked up a lot of information from her as well as others, but you know how that shit go. So yeah, let's just get into it. Now, first of all, when you are working in the realm of hoodoo, voodoo, even I don't know how other cultures really work, but I know like indigenous cultures that work with root work and conjure or voodoo or just African traditional religions. The first place you are encouraged to look in terms of guidance and assistance outside of yourself and great spirit is going to be your ancestral team. Your ancestral team is very, very important. You want to build your ancestral team before you even tap into other guides and goddesses and gods that you want to petition for assistance. Now, when you think of, like I said earlier, a lot of people, when they think of ancestor veneration, they are more so, some people will start off and they're like, oh, this is like my great granny that just passed away or my great grandfather. Keep in mind that those souls may have unfinished work. They may be still processing. They may not have fully crossed over. So those are souls that may not be able to assist you in this journey. Mind you, always do your divination and reach out to spirit through meditation, etc. But understand that you are not going to always be able to reach out to your nearest and dearest known relative that passed away for guidance. Okay, that's not always going to be the case. But when we start within this tradition, you'll see a lot of people set up altars with just a white cloth, water, some earth element like sea salt, and you may see them leave cigarettes or coffee. What else? Candy, because the spirits like candy. And a lot of times, like on Sundays, I feed my ancestors food, like Sunday dinner. Now, some people will do that like a lot, but I try because like I know life can get busy. You know what I'm saying? I say once a week. Now, do what you feel, but on Sundays, I cook Sunday dinner for my family. I generally have a plate for the ancestors, and I will let that sit on my altar for the week, and then Saturday, I'll get rid of it, clean, Sunday, boom. Okay, that's the way we do that. Mindful though, the glass of water is always going to be significant on an ancestor altar because it gives something for the spirits to pass through, and depending on the amount of spirits that you are petitioning and calling through is the amount of glasses that needs to be placed on your altar. Now, a lot of people gauge the activity of the spirits through like bubbles in the water, movement, shapes, etc. What else? You could do something as simple as lighting an incense. You could light a white candle or a blue candle for blessings and good health, peaceful home, etc. Also maybe having pictures or favorite things that you know that your ancestors or your culture would like. Like I said, you can't go wrong with water and coffee and a plate of food. You can't go wrong. A white candle. Can't go wrong with it ever. We have a mirror on our main altar. Everybody might not have a mirror on the main altar, but we do. And that is a great way, again, to almost provide a portal to the other side. Make sure you're working diligently on cleansing the altar and locking the mirror spiritually. So, you might not always want them to come through. You might not always want them to slide through in your space. So just be mindful of it, mindful of locking your mirrors as well, because that mirrors are portals. But back to the situation, whereas, like, would you venerate someone that just passed over? You can have, I know y'all seen our parents, they keep their pictures, they keep their obituaries, just certain things get put up. But for someone who maybe not have been as close, ancestors that haven't quite crossed over yet, or someone that's adopted and don't quite know their full history, what do those people do? Well, you would go as far back in your culture to see what lineage you can tap into, like with within your DNA, to see, like, okay, who would I work with? You might be interested in working with an ancestor, from slavery or from pre-slavery. You might be interested in working with an ancestor that, like, way, way, way back, farther than that. You might gonna go way back to ancient Egypt. In realms that I have had an issue with, or a challenge rather, with figuring out what type of guidance that I wanted to get for my practice, and I couldn't get an immediate relative for whatever purpose. I feel like I've discussed this before, but it wasn't like its own episode. But like, I felt like, a lot of my lineage, some of them were into it, but they weren't as open with practicing. So it made it kind of difficult to get guidance. So I had to reach a little further back, and you may have to do the same thing. Now, so like ancient Egypt, you can't go wrong with that. I mean, that's the beginning. Aset, because Isis is her Greek name. Aset, Auset, that's what I would be considering an ancient ancestor. She's the first. Ra, if you're a guy, or Osiris, You know what I'm saying? Like, you would go that far back, in my opinion. Take what resonates, leave the rest. Like, oh, girl, you say on TikTok. But that's how far I would go back. If you can't find nobody, go that far back. Go far enough back, in your geographical area. Go far, if you have access to what they call the dolls roll, and you can kind of see, like, I go on the dolls roll, and on with my name on both sides of my maternal side, because we're indigenous, so we operate from the maternal side. That's how they determine, who, what, when, where. So from that arena, we would be Cherokee and Creek Indian. Okay, so, like, who are some notable people from those lineages? Who are some notable Cherokee Indians that you could tap into? Or, if you're Blackfoot or Creek, Muskogee, Seminole, you feel me? Who are some notable people? Who are some notable people that you can tap into and ask for guidance and assistance on a good Saturn hour or Saturn day that weren't slain during battle, that died natural death? What else? Or, someone that you admire may have Cherokee heritage, and because you have Cherokee heritage, you can go in and petition them for assistance, finding things they like, and appeal to them. Okay? Let's see. Cherokee heritage period. Oh, another good point I want to make about ancestor veneration is, a lot of people don't understand that, or overstand, because I'm not talking at you, I'm talking to you. A lot of people don't understand that all skin folk ain't kinfolk, and I say this all the time. Just because you might have people in your lineage that loved you dearly, but were afraid of spirituality, and they might not be supportive of that. You might even have relatives and people from your lineage just downright don't fuck with you, period, or fuck with your mom or your dad or your lineage, period, and you just can't call on them. So always make sure you're petitioning what I like to call your elevated ancestors, because you don't need to be like getting the person that's not down for the team. They not gang for real. And you don't need nobody that's going against what you're trying to do because they think they know best for you. Just because a person has passed on to the other side to either recycle or come back, or they're all the way, that does not mean that they're a good spirit. You know what I'm saying? So I hate to bust some bubbles with that, but just because of that don't mean this energy was a good spirit. So that's why you got to be real mindful. And y'all will hear me when I pull most days. I'll be like, okay, I'm reaching out to the elevated ancestors for guidance, because I don't need the person that don't support what I'm doing. I don't need the murderous criminal, or the rapist. I don't need them. I don't need that person. I need the good person. You need me. So just be mindful of that, okay? Be mindful of that, the energy you're summoning for assistance. It's always baffled me, though, like, a lot of people say, people are passed away, they can't talk to you. Spirits are real. They walk among us every day, through to the unseen eye. And some people have the gift of mediumship, so they can see, they can feel, they can hear. A lot of us are reincarnated ancestors, and that's just a random thought. But, like, it'll be a lot of people that say, don't do this. Why you doing that? It's the idea. It's the building a relationship. So to that point, you have to be prepared to build a relationship with your elevated ancestors the same way you got to do these guides, these gods, and these goddesses. You got to be prepared to build a relationship. That means not asking for help, but not leaving coffee or even just a simple glass of water. It take you a month to change it out. You could put flowers on your altar. You don't put no flowers. You let the flowers die. You don't clean it off. You know what I'm saying? So you really got to be like intentional about building those relationships and letting them know you appreciate them for their assistance. The person that you are going to ask to open the roads of communication to the spiritual realm for you is none other than our boy Papa Legba or Saint Peter if you're not practicing, with that particular culture. You might reach out to Saint Peter, okay? Now, once you ask Papa Legba or Elegua, interchangeable, to open the roads, to what ancestors are willing and able to communicate with you and assist you, So let's just say you lacking guidance, so you don't know, like, damn, who do I pick? Who do I call for help? You will reach out to Papa. Papa is the person that stands at the crossroads and say, okay, you could talk, you could come through. He like the bouncer at the club, feel me, that holds the rope and say you can get in the VIP or nah. That's Papa. Breaking it down. Obviously, he's more than that. But, or Legua. So think of it like that. So you might say, okay, I'm not quite sure, or I know I want to talk to this relative, what do I do? Because I ain't even gonna hold you. I had an experience where I was attempting to reach for a relative in regards to assistance, and this relative was tired. This relative was betrayed. This relative was not fully elevated yet and could not assist me. So I had to, and I think I mentioned this to y'all before through another episode, I had to make the conscious decision, while I do love this relative dearly, I had to make this conscious decision to take that relative off of my altar, because that person did not want to be disturbed. They was not ready to do that for me. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be mindful of that type of shit too. Another thing is, like, if you are deep into this team and you're thinking about getting graveyard dirt and doing graveyard work, which is real deep. Now that come with its own set of rules. Sometimes you're able to go to like a grave of your family plot and get dirt from that plot for assistance of someone you love, and then other times not so much. So again, that's where knowing your lineage, your heritage, what tribe, you feel me, like that's where all that's gonna come into place. But a good place to start is tapping into asking Papa Legba, Saint Peter, not Eshwa, because Eshwa like the trickster, but Elegua, to assist you. Like, hey, help me out here. You know what I'm saying? I need a little guidance. I need some answers. Then that's how you would do that. Now, in our traditions, a lot of people might be like, well, why you just didn't go to God? Why you just didn't go to Great Spirit? There are minor or lesser spirits, guides, and gods that can handle mundane, everyday tasks. That does not mean that you worship them or you put them over God. You see, a lot of people, you could tell the ignorance religiously in a person that speaks a certain way about this fold of life, because what they'll do is they'll ignorantly assume that just because you are petitioning Papa Legba or Saint Peter or whatever, you are, or Legba, you are saying, casting God away, or saying God can't help you. Or they think these cultures don't worship one God. They look at it like that. And that's not the way it is. But that's how you could tell people that are ignorant to the fact. Because if they did their research and, the history and respected the culture, they would know that these energies, even indigenous communities, have an idea of one big God. They got that shit. So, but you'll have a lot of, and I'm gonna air quote, Christians per se that look at it like, oh, you looking for your ancestors for help. Oh, you looking for Elegua. You looking for Papa. You looking for da-da-da-da. Why you just didn't go to God? So these cultures be like, shit, why I can't just, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go to God too, but I'm also going to go to this person and I'm going to not worship them, but I'm going to show them love, build a relationship with them so that they can give me guidance and assistance as well on this 3D plane too. They can intercede for me. So that's like a thing. It's no different than petitioning Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael for certain situations. Even in the realm of Catholic religion, where they basically interchange, like they say, okay, we gonna say Saint Peter in front of you because you don't respect Papa Legba. You don't and Papa Legba came as a manifestation of Elegua from Benin, Dahomey. That's where he came from. So it's like as they came over, different methods were done. And I'm sure some other, ATRs have a different version of these as well, how they, their story comes along. But all in all, it's about the idea that you are creating a relationship spiritually so that these energies can assist you. Like overall, like I said, even just pure indigenous tribes in terms of, and I don't want to say pure but like Cherokee, what they call Native Americans, which is kind of disrespectful. Like they have different nature. They worship more nature spirits. Like, but there is a great spirit. There is a great person or figure that they consider to be the end all be all, in addition to the spirits that, garner and controls or the things. So what they may do is say, okay, I'm going to respect this as well, and then I'm going to come through in this too. So it's the same thing. So I never really, once I got deep into this, it made me look at people who go against it real hard, like very different, because I'm like, well, tomato, like, and sometimes hell, like I was raised a Baptist, and sometimes I do call on Archangel Michael to, get some shit done. Think of that as a manifestation of what? Who? Shango or Ogun? Maybe I have to look it up, but think of it as a manifestation of that. But sometimes I say, oh, okay, Archangel Michael, I need your help. Come through, fuck some shit up for me right quick. Help me out, clear the way. So, that's what you would call in our world a goon for, like, so it's just a thing. And that's a mini rant just overall. But what I'm saying to you is, in terms of Saturn day hours and days, you are going to want to build a relationship first and foremost with the lineage that is closest to you, because to me, you will be subconsciously more open and knowledgeable of practices, rituals, and things that you picked up through your DNA. Then you branch out to other shit. Does that make sense? I hope so. I hope that rant went somewhere for y'all. I've been holding the ancestor card for quite a minute. And honestly, I'm so proud of myself right now because I'm not even having to reference for real. Like, all this shit is like off the top of my head. So, what's up? Yes! Love it, love it, love it. But, yo, the ancestors are here to help. Okay? They are your friend. If you are utilizing what I like to call the ancestor deck, the Hoodoo Tarot deck, it is a very excellent deck to use to get in touch with your ancestors, to see, what guidance they have for you. Like, it's the one I love. There may be more, but I love this Hoodoo Tarot deck. Again, if not, what do they have? I don't know. Do they have saint decks, y'all, where you can contact the saints or the angels? Do they have that? I know they got an angel tarot deck. I know they got that. But I wonder, do they have a deck where you could say, Saint Peter, Saint Lazarus, Mary Magdalene that type deal. If they do, I wonder, tap into that. But yeah, or maybe you can make your own deck. People do that. Make your own deck. Have your deck listing the saints, what their characteristics are, what they think, what they like, and bless it, let it charge, and do your thing. I don't know where they came from, but that was a download, because I could see some people being like, well, shit, I ain't too comfortable working with Orisha yet, or if ever, because I'm not a part of that culture. So, and if you can't find a saint deck, but it would shock me if it wasn't one out there. But I would make my own if I were you. What are the characteristics? What might they say? But that's going to call for an intense realm of research, because you don't want to get it wrong now and get messages from some shit you don't need. You feel me? Somebody be a trickster energy on your ass. You be like, oh, what did I do? Okay. But yeah, so what else about the ancestors can I give you guys today? Yeah, do your family tree. A long time ago, I posted on Patreon a copy of how you could do your family tree. You could see things and also research the Dawes role. That DAWES. It's interesting to look at, but it's helpful. I found mine. I found my people. So it's helpful, to say the least. Very helpful. Let's see. I do offer ancestor readings. So if you are looking to get more in touch with your ancestors and see what characteristics and gifts you picked up from your paternal and maternal lineage and what information they might have for you, I do offer what I like to call an ancestor reading. You can book that by clicking the link in my bio, and I will hit you up and we will schedule a same day appointment if it is available to you and or I. But yo, I got you. So that's my word, y'all, for the Ancestor Day, which is Saturday, or the Saturn hour. If you need any more guidance, hit me up, comment, let me know if y'all have any extra little notes. I feel like there's an area below the podcast where y'all can talk or comment, or even on YouTube, because this is uploaded to YouTube. You guys can comment and let me know what you think. If you have any extra information to add for the collective. What else? Yo, if you have any questions, tap in. Let's communicate. Let's engage so we can start this party all right. You feel me? All right, y'all. But that's my word. And I love you guys. And I pray you have a great day and you were able to get something from this podcast. You know how I do. We will chat soon. Bye.